Yes, we do.
Friends, at this time, 1, 2. At this time, we are going to begin the funeral services. Officiating today will be Cantor Scott Simon, and as we begin the service, the cantor will lead the family in the tradition of Kriya. And if you have a cell phone or a pager, I would ask for you to please take a moment to turn it off or place it in the silent mode.
You can be seated. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember him. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember him. In the opening buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember him. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, we remember him. So long as we live, he too shall live, for he is now a part of us, a part of us, a part of us. He will always be a part of us as we remember him. In the beginning of the year, and when it ends, we remember him. In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we'll remember him. When we are weary and in need of strength, we'll remember him. When we are lost and when we're sick at heart, we'll remember him. When we have joys we yearn to share, when we have joys we yearn to share, we yearn to share. When we have joys we yearn to share, we'll remember him. For he is now a part of us, a part of us, a part of us, and will always be a part of us as we remember him. We remember him. We remember him. From the 121st Psalm. Esainai el Harim me'ayin yavo Ezri mehim Adonai Ose shamayim va'aretz al yitzen lamod raglecha al yanom shomerecha hine lo yanum v'lo yishan shomer Yisrael Adonai shomerecha Adonai tzilcha al yad yeminecha Yomam hashemesh lo yakecha v'yareach balayla Adonai yishmarcha mikora Yishmor et nafshecha Adonai yishemar tzeitecha uvoecha me'ata Me'ata ve'ad olam. I turn my eyes to the mountains. From where will come my help? My help comes from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your guardian will not slumber. See, the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian and your protection at your right hand. By day the sun will not smite you, nor the moon by night. Adonai will guard you from all harm. Your life God will guard, and your going and coming now and forever. This afternoon, we gather to both honor the blessed memory and celebrate the wonderful life of Larry Machtinger. We are also here to support his grieving family, whom he cherished, loved, cared for, and supported with all he had. They mourn their beloved husband, father, grandfather, father-in-law, brother-in-law, uncle and stepbrother, and seek wholeness and peace as they bid farewell to him. Their brilliant, kind, humorous, dedicated, righteous, caring patriarch, mentor, and friend. We have all reflected on the fact that love can conquer the bonds of space and time. That when we have kissed our family and friends goodbye and put miles and sometimes even years between us, the love we share binds us to one another so intimately that it renders any distance traveled or any years passed as if they were but an inch or a moment. With heart and mind, we transcend the physical, creating a bond in a realm made out of love and memory that exists outside of space and time and feels ever-present and immediate. Let us not doubt our internal awareness of this now, for this surely holds true as Larry has left us on the next step in his soul's journey. Though made of but memory and love, his presence dwells with us in a place that exists as real as any table or any grand destination we have ever shared with him. For when we are warm and value human connection as Larry did, and share ourselves as an affectionate, deeply devoted partner, thoughtfully present and caring parent and grandparent, helping and adoring son, son-in-law, and friend, impactful professor, mentor, and guide to thousands, and our presence and effect on the universe indeed endures. one who was a blessing and light to this world, with such a soulfulness, limitless capacity for connection and love, lives on and is present in all whom they touch. One who carried and cheered the talent and potential of all whom he met and gave so many gifts to the world through his nature, through his humanity, through his intellect, by imbuing kindness and widening the space for warmth and kindness in others, literally changing their hearts, lives on and continues to be vibrant. And as their love reverberates, as it is modeled by all, they continue on and on. No more than in all assembled here, of course. Is there any greater source of comfort and blessing than knowing that more than our greatest traits, achievements, and shared experiences, that it is our true essence that abides in those we've cared for and taught? Could there be any greater gift or motivation than knowing it is the love and connection to our family and friends and all of those whom we've ever had a positive exchange with that will one day or even now continue to pay kindness and joy forward in the universe, as it did in Larry's case, improving perhaps thousands of life journeys to impact the world exponentially. We'll have to ask his grandson Jared or any of his students to please create a formula and calculate that. Perhaps it's impossible as it is ever expanding. We can all attest that it would certainly not be an esoteric query. Amidst our loss, let's take comfort in knowing that Larry's legacy, love of life, humor, and capacity of kindness will live on through all he knew as they themselves impact the universe. As we pay tribute to him now and always, and do our best to emulate all that was good, precious, true, impactful, and enduring in his life. I had the blessing of being able to share memories with Dory and his family the other day and ask them how he should be remembered. What were the most vibrant and radiant parts of his personality? And I was blessed because they shared so much and were so forthcoming. For there were many ways that he impacted their world and the lives of others that were so focused and so obvious and so attributable. Larry was, first and foremost, a kind man. Perhaps because he was the child of kind parents, those who knew them say he had Eva's and Harry's kind and generous hearts. But he was known by all to be a kind and compassionate person in his own right in all areas of his life. His son Marc shared that the people he spoke with in the last weeks made sure to mention how very, very kind he was. His daughter Becca and granddaughter Maya said he was kind, caring, and loving to every living thing. His son-in-law Jamon recounted how touching it was that he was very open about expressing love, kindness, and affection to his beloved Dory, and it was evident that the fire never stopped burning in his heart for her, and he was not afraid to express his love for her publicly, which was a wonderful model for the whole family. His sister-in-law, Connie, shared that when they heard of his passing, her son and daughter-in-law immediately expressed their sadness and remarked on their uncle's kindness. Maya and Dalia and Dory affirmed that he was selfless, always so compassionate and caring for everyone and for animals. He would put others before himself, absolutely always, they said. Everyone also shared that he brought joy, laughter, and humor to their lives. His daughter-in-law Julie and son Marc both called him by what I'm assuming was one of his household monikers there, the King of Puns. And Ari affirmed that his wit made any event more fun, and how at Passover he shared 6 puns just about eggs. Jamon shared that at Passover was his big chance to take stage, and that Larry expressed that he loved all the Jewish holidays, for there was great food and great fun and great family, but probably also an opportunity for him to hit everybody with his newest puns and jokes. Marc shared that multiple people commented on his sense of humor, his wittiness, and told everyone a story about a time at his and Becca's graduations together from Wash U. Back in 1995, campus reporters were interviewing people, and they interviewed Larry as the proud father at the graduation because he was also a graduate who went on to live a life in academia. And they asked him what he studied, and he answered, mathematics. I'm a mathematics professor. And when they asked him how long ago he graduated from WashU, he wryly replied, I don't remember. I'm not good with numbers. Timing and wit, like mathematics skill, are gifts that can be honed throughout a lifetime and shared with great impact in environments large and small. His humor and quick-wittedness weren't loud or boisterous nature. They were similar to his gifts in mathematics in that he played with daily understandings of life like an equation in which he could manipulate commonly understood factors and addends in novel ways, exposing funny connections or breaking down assumed or learned associations in the most hilarious or sometimes cringy ways. His nephew Gabe captured it perfectly in a note he wrote to me. What sticks with me about my uncle, he shared, beyond his natural kind nature, is his humor. Larry showed me the art of subtlety and dry wit, and that almost anything could have a ridiculous answer. His stock answer to telemarketers remains one that I use frequently and get a small smile with every time. No thanks, we use toilet paper. Cringy, but funny. Some people are fighters. Larry was a lover. That was the place his perspective came from, a place of love. It wasn't so much a driver of his personality, it was just who he was. Maya remembered that even with his dementia to the very last minute, when other parts of his personality had retreated, his loving nature remained as the anchor of who he was, and he remained loving to the last minute, both in the way he expressed himself and his specific love for all of you, and especially Dory. Julie remembered that last summer when it was obvious that his dementia was overcoming him, he still recounted the whole story of how he and Dory met and fell in love with great detail. Recently in the hospital, when his love for opera and music came up, his therapist asked if he would like it if she sang him, "Let Me Call You Sweetheart." He said with kind eyes, "No, I don't think my wife would like that." Becca shared he was so loving to all of you. Even on his last day, he gave hugs and kisses and retained that quality to his last minute. What a gift to know that in a person's last moments, they are in a place of not just receiving love, but giving love. As his granddaughter Dalia made a point of sharing, her grandfather's incredible warmth was so comforting, and that warm love of Dory and Larry's home was a place of security, joyous experiences, fond memories, love, and compassion. He was a great-grandfather to his grandkids who affectionately called him their Opie. Dalia shared that some of her best memories when she was young was when she walked through the door of the house for a visit. Opie would pick her up and say, 3, 2, 1, blast off, launching her into the air. She also brought to mind for all the grandkids how present he was when he was with them, only focused on them, never distracted with the time he was spending. She will always remember his big smile and how much joy it brought her and brought him to play with his grandkids. Maya shared a memory that was so sweet to her that he used to call his grandkids his treasures. Ari shared that that as he matured, he always looked up to his grandfather's intellect, though he could never get into math the way he did. Larry was so proud of his grandchildren and their achievements. His pride lived in the same place as his love and had the power to bring him back to the present in recent times. When Ari told him on the phone that he was going to grad school, he physically smiled at a time when he wasn't able to show much emotion. Ari's achievement and all the kids' achievements and adventures brought a smile to his face, to his last days. Jared's shared passion for math and science, both young men being at MIT, Dalia studying at the family alma mater, and Miles' achievements at Stevenson all stirred him back to a place of pride, a place that he had not just cultivated for his grandchildren and his own children, but for thousands of students in his lifetime. Pride in higher education, achievement that he knew in higher education achievement, that he knew so intimately that he could now proudly share about his own grandkids. What a blessing it was for you to allow him that legacy and milestone before he passed. Larry loved music and loved sharing that beloved passion together with Dory. It was a huge part of their lives and their joie de vivre. He loved the opera, and he and Dory attended the Lyric for decades. He loved classical music and klezmer music. Becca said he loved music and was an excellent audience member, though he couldn't make music himself because he had no rhythm. He loved to go to Chicago Symphony. He and Dory were supporting members of the Illinois Philharmonic Orchestra, where Dory was the president several times over the last few decades. And as leaders of the Friends of the Philharmonic organization, Larry was her support in helping her, leading fundraising events and enjoying time together. The Maxwell Street Klezmer Band was also very prominent in their lives. He loved klezmer music and really enjoyed them being at the girls' bat mitzvahs. He also enjoyed and loved the music that was played by his grandchildren themselves, who were all very, very musical. Ari remembers fondly that his Opie really appreciated all the instruments that he could play, and that as he played, changing from one instrument to another, it really made him get into it. Dalia has a great memory of their Opie trying to watch her on a Zoom in performance using a magnifying glass with his iPhone. Maya remembers giving him a private piano concert last year, and that he applauded for her and stayed conscious and alert at a time when he could barely move. Music lived in him, perhaps in the same place as his love and kindness, a part of his soul, some would say. Another aspect of his personality that shone his true nature and his mathematical mind was his general handiness and love for cool tools and gadgets. From small and larger household electrical and plumbing repairs to designing the family home with Dory 50 years ago, repairing things was just a way that he expressed himself. Jamon shared that he was very handy and would bring his toolbox and help him work on needed household repairs. Becca shared how he loved plumbing and really sparkled when she could do her own plumbing repairs. Everyone smiled, remembering when Becca had done a big plumbing repair on her own, Larry saying that she finally earned her certificate as a junior plumbing repairman. She also shared that he was often at his mother-in-law's house repairing things for her and how special their relationship was, especially after her grandmother moved close to her parents. Larry was often helping her fix things and doing things that she needed. She appreciated his love and handy help a great deal, and once commented to her, "Everyone needs a Larry." She's probably not alone in that. His handy nature also expressed itself in his love for cool tools and gadgets. He loved flashlights and giving them as gifts. Anytime a new flashlight came out, he would send them to or save them as gifts for everyone, even the kids. He really loved flashlights. Even when he got his first iPhone, his favorite part of it was the flashlight. He also loved pocket knives and gadgets, anything that was ingenious. Jamon shared that the tools that Larry gave him are still the ones he uses, but they were more than a gift idea. He really just used them as a vehicle by which to share time together. I'd like to call his sister-in-law, Connie, to come up and share a few words with us now.
Larry was in my life longer than anyone but my sister. There you go. Can you hear me now? I think he embraced me as his little sister from the get-go, and he watched over me like a loving big brother. There are so many wonderful memories, far too many to relate here, a lifetime of stories. To say the least, I had a bit of a difficult life. Larry was there supporting me and never judging some of the messes I got myself into. I could always count on him to lovingly listen and just embrace me. And I remain forever grateful for this. It was above and beyond the call of duty for any brother-in-law. My husband, Jim, who couldn't be here today, teaches a clock repair class. Old mechanical clocks, not digital ones. While visiting us in Washington once, Jim suggested that Larry join him for his class. At first, Larry was a bit reluctant, but once he got there and saw the classroom filled with clock parts and men of his era all working on old clocks, he was in his element. Jim recalls the joy on Larry's face seeing all this stuff. It was just one of those fond memories. My son Gabe, also stuck on the East Coast today, had a very special connection with Larry almost from day one. They had a mutual admiration society of two. Gabe remembers the time he would be with Dory and Larry taking a nap in Larry's study while he graded papers. Again, it was one of those sweet, lovely memories. I have a rather large family. I have 6 stepchildren plus Gabe and 15 grandchildren. Larry always asked about them and was interested in each one of their lives. It's hard enough for Jim and me to keep them straight, so it was really impressive that he could ask about them individually. I have 60 years worth of stories, but we don't have time for them all. Let it suffice to say that Larry was kind and funny and interested in a wide range of things. But most of all, he loved my sister. He loved our parents, and he was always there for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Connie. Larry was a highly respected professional. His students enjoyed him, not just for his gifts as an educator and a professor at all the universities that he worked at, but especially Purdue, but for his kindness and his compassion as a professor as well. He had a unique gift. He had a passion for teaching. he was able to express that passion not only to his own students, but also in the surrounding community, where he was the lightning rod of many education projects in the Chicago area that supported underserved communities and their educators way back before it was popular to do so. He will be mourned and missed by all. Larry will be mourned and missed by his beloved wife, Dory Machtinger. He was the cherished father of Marc and Julie Machtinger and Rebecca and Jamon Heller. He was the loving grandfather of Ari, Jared, Dalia, and Maya, the dear brother-in-law of Connie, and her husband Jim Girard, and uncle of Gabriel, Soll, and daughter-in-law and his wife Julia Bogolin. He was the devoted son of the late Eva and Harry Machtinger, and loving son-in-law of the late Gretl and Max Diamant. He was the younger brother of the late Sam and his wife Pauline Machtinger, Eve and Sidney Bleich, and Pearlie and Buddy and Max Morrison. Please let's rise for the Almalei Rachamim prayer. Elmalei Rachamim Shochein Bamromim Amsei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Hashkina B'malot Kedoshim Utehorim Kezohar Harakim Mazirim Et Nishmat Avram Lebesh Ben Aharon V'Chava Zisel Shalach Leolamo Began Eden Tehei Menuchato Anabal Harachamim Yasdirehu B'Seter Kenafecha Leolamim Vayitzror Bitzror Achayim Et Nishmato Adonai Hu Naklato V'yanuach Mishalom Al Mishkavo V'nomar Amen. God of abundant mercy, God most high, may the soul of our beloved Larry Machtinger, who has gone into eternity, find the gift of perfect peace in your embrace, together with all the holy and pure, whose light shines like the radiance of heaven. Compassionate God, hold him close to you forever, so that his soul may be bound up in the bond of life eternal. Adonai, may he find a home with you. May he rest in peace, and together let us say, Amen. It's now time for us to recite the Kaddish prayer. You can find the Kaddish prayer in your booklet. On the back of the booklet. Yitgadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'alama Divra Kirute, V'amlich Malkute, V'chayechon, V'yomechon, V'chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala U'bizman Kariv, Imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mivarach, La'alam U'lalmei Amaya, Yitbarak, V'yishabak, V'yitfa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudisha, Briku, La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushmikata v'nekemata, da'amiran v'alama v'maru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'maru, Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, huya asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'maru, Amen. The act of kvura, the act of interring a loved one, is an ancient Jewish practice. It's considered one of the highest mitzvahs that you can perform for another person. The rabbis surmised that it was considered that it was a high mitzvah because you obviously knew. It was kind of a tit-for-tat thing. You knew that they could never do it for you, so it's beyond tit-for-tat. They can never do this for you, so you know it's a real act of charity. But I think we can look at it a little more deeply than that, and that we recognize that interring someone is a very, very, very visceral way to confront our own mortality, and to think about our lives and what we bring to this world. When we're thinking about what another person brings to this planet and to the humanity, while we're burying them, as we say goodbye for all the things that they meant to us, of course, when we walk away from that act, we think about what is someone going to think about me when it's my time, or what am I doing that will be as memorable and impactful on this planet as a good person that's going to be worthy of all the grace and gifts and blessings that the world's bestowed upon me. And it's very sage wisdom that they inject us to do this. And though it can be painful, it gives us an opportunity to finally, as we inter the deceased, think about all the blessings and all the kindnesses they shared and how much we'll miss them, but also about what our legacy is, as I spoke of at the beginning of today's service. Gentlemen, please hold. And so the family would be honored if you'd take part in Kvura. Friends, when the family has finished the act of burial, please, if it's in your heart, please feel welcome to go forward. That was sand from the Mount of Olives, so that we can symbolically and physically repatriate Larry to Israel, to the land of Israel.
That would like to come forward and participate in the burial, we'll invite you to do so at this time. reminder of the family will be together this afternoon, this evening at the Hampton Inn at 1400 Milwaukee in Lincolnshire, again from 5 until 8 p.m.
Bye.